Hi everyone, I'm Melissa, I'm a McDonald's worker, and I'm here to tell you one simple thing. McDonald's workers are just like everybody else. Just like everybody else, we come together in a union and we can win better. We deserve better. We are coming together to win a union. Sorry, I've never done this before, literally. We are coming together in a union to win better. We are on our way to winning against the second biggest private employer in the world. McDonald's workers are just like everyone else, and this is why we deserve £15 an hour. I earn £9.45 an hour, and we don't get paid enough. It affects every single part of my life. It affects my mental health, and it's not something people are talking about. It affects so much. Being paid £9.45 hour, £1.45 an hour, traps you. It makes me feel so trapped. I'm trapped in poverty. I'm trapped in the amount of time that I put towards my family. I can work a 40-hour week and I still don't have enough to pay my rent, which means I'm trapped on benefits. And I've been working with McDonald's for just over 2 years now, and I work full-time, and there should be no reason why I'm still on benefits. I work so hard. Sometimes I have to choose between putting gas and electric in my house over paying my rent. And this is not acceptable. I tend to make sure there's food in my house for my son, just to make sure that he can eat, and then I will eat at work. So like the work meals are the only meals that I'm eating in a day, like literally, and I'm not the only one that's across the board with all McDonald's workers. Food is a necessity, you know. Things like for my son that he'd like to have, like a tracksuit from JD, so he can look trendy and look like everybody else, and maybe a new phone, a computer for his work at school, homework, essays and stuff like that. I can't provide these things on £9.45 an hour. We're just like everybody else. We need the things that everybody else needs too. Being paid £9.45 an hour doesn't allow me to do anything. It just about allows me to get by. By the end of my 2 weeks, I have nothing, literally nothing, to the point where I have to borrow money from other people. And then when I get paid, it puts me in debt because I have to pay the people back before I can do anything else with my money. If my son gets a hole in his shoe, he has to wait weeks and weeks for him to actually get a new pair of shoes, because I can't afford to go and just buy him one. I haven't got the cash that's just there to go and do that. An increase in my wage would mean that I'd be able to show my son there's something more to life than poverty. You know, like I've been born into poverty, and now I'm bringing my son up into poverty. Like he needs to be shown that there's actually something else out there in the world, so he can drive for something better. That's just not what we're getting working in McDonald's. How can McDonald's claim to be a family restaurant when they have so many families living in such destitution? It's, again, unacceptable. McDonald's should be ashamed. They should be ashamed that their motto is they want to be Britain's most loved or best loved restaurant company, when they have so many people in poverty. We need £15 an hour so we can do things just like everybody else. So we can decorate our houses, so we can have clothes. You know, if I want to walk down the road and see something nice I like, I want to be able to say, yeah, I want that. Let me go in the shop and just buy it. Not have to save for like 3 weeks so I can go and do that. I just have decent food, you know, just living off a spag bowl because it's a £5 every day. Instead of, you know, my son loves prawns. Why not make a prawn curry? Can't make a prawn curry because I haven't got enough money to do it. You know, I want to learn how to drive. It'd make my life so much easier if I could drive. Can't afford it. So I'm here to tell you that McDonald's workers are just like everyone else, and this is why we deserve £15 an hour. Just like everybody else, we'd like to structure our lives. When I first got my job at McDonald's, I was under the impression that I was on a guaranteed contracted hours. It's only until recently that I found out I was on a 0-hour contract. Then they put me on a 28-hour week, and it's just not enough. I've been working 40 hours a week, and to put me on 28 hours a week, it cuts so much money out of my life that I don't already have, and it cuts me all the way down again. I'm struggling. Having a contract for 28 hours, sorry, I'm going a little bit off script. The schedule is up and down. It gets done every 2 to 3 weeks. I could have 12 hours one week, 40 hours the next week, 5 hours the next week. You know, it's so up and down. I cannot schedule any time with my family. I have sisters that live one side of London and the other side of London, and I never get to see them because I haven't got the time to go, because I'm always thinking, I've got to get back to work. I've got to get back to work. We're all under so much stress and strain on a daily basis, and we can't think ahead, we can't plan ahead, we can't even sometimes function. You go home and you go to sleep and you wake up and you hear the beeping, the frying beeping. It literally takes over every aspect of your life, which means I suffer. And if I suffer, my son suffers. It's time for people to have the time for themselves. It's time for people to have time for themselves, to have money for themselves. It's time for us to have a voice to say that this is enough, we've had enough, and things need to change. We need guaranteed contracted hours in our lives. Just like everybody else, McDonald's workers are just like everybody else, and this is why we need a union. Like everybody else, we deserve respect at work. Without respect, we can't be happy. People get shouted at, we get disrespected. I don't go into work to be spoken to like a child. I go to work and I know exactly what I'm doing when I go to work. For someone to come and belittle me whilst I'm working, knowing that I do my job to the best of my ability, is very upsetting. Breaks. You don't get breaks. Sometimes I can be doing a 10-hour shift and I will do a 10-hour shift with no break. And then when you say I needed a break, they turn around and they say to you, well, you don't really need a break, like it's not that bad. They really make you feel bad for even asking, for even making a point. You know, everybody here knows it's 20 minutes for every 6 hours. Why am I doing a 10-hour shift, knowing I've got to go home to look after my family with no break? It's unacceptable. I joined the union because I was fed up, and I was fed up of being exploited. Being in the union is so important to me, and it means everything. Like, I've dedicated all my spare time to this, literally. Rules are being broken on a daily basis, and there's no accountability for it. There needs to be more accountability for the way that people are being treated. That's why we deserve a union. Being in a union will help me to change people's perceptions of McDonald's workers. There are so many skilled workers in McDonald's. They are so amazing. Everybody that I work with they're such wonderful people, and their abilities are never seen by managers, by the public. You know, it's quite upsetting. It might just be McDonald's to everybody else, but to me, this is where I work. This is where I earn my bread. You know, so no one has the right to make me feel worthless just because I work in McDonald's. Managers and customers alike. I'm a person with feelings and I work very hard. Please respect that. A union is how we will get that respect. McDonald's workers are just like everybody else, and this is how we organise. McDonald's controls every part of my life. I was spending my life at McDonald's, yet I wasn't talking to the person next to me. And I just thought, why don't we talk to each other? You know, I've known people for 2 years and I literally know nothing about any of them. So myself personally, a colleague opened a group chat. So we now plan once a month or once every 6 weeks to come together, you know, go to a theme park, go for a drink or something, so we can also get together and bond. Because we work together. I spend more time with the people I work with than I do with my family, you know. Like I said, they're a wonderful bunch of people, and now we've made a plan. And we always go out on payday, so we know that everybody can enjoy themselves because we all got money, you know. Before, people wouldn't speak to me about the campaign, but as people started to get to know me, they felt that they can come and approach me a bit more about it. They felt more easy, and we started talking about it. And now we're all talking to each other. We've created a bond, you know. We feel like we've got each other's backs. Because we have each other's backs at work. Why not have each other's backs outside work too? You know? And we're all going on strike together. Woo! All around the world, McDonald's workers, just like me and you, all around the world, the McDonald's workers suffer. They suffer the same poverty pay, the same insecurity, the same lack of respect. But all around the world, we are organising into unions. The CEO of McDonald's earns £5,500 an hour. Just think of that, an hour, and I earn £9.45. McDonald's can earn as much profit as they like, and that's fine. Why can't I set the amount of money that I sell my labour for? It's not okay for the CEO to earn that much money while I only earn £9.45 an hour. In the US, the Fight for 15 started with 200 workers going on strike for $15 an hour in 2012. Now the Fight for 15 has won a collective $6 billion raise, including increasing the wages of 22 million workers. McDonald's workers are organising in France, they're organising in Germany and Brazil, in the Philippines. All around the world, we are organising into a union. All around the world, we are going to win. McDonald's workers are going to win, and when we do, it's going to benefit everybody else. I hope you remember, if you remember one thing from what I've said, you'll remember that McDonald's workers are just like everybody else. And just like everybody else, we can organise into a union to win what we deserve. We are going to go on strike, and when we do, come out and support us, because we are just like everybody else. And just like everybody else, we are organisable. We are not special or different, we are organising, and we will win. Thank you.